a legacy that outlasts death. Today, we tell the story of Chief Timothy Ayorinde, or a man of peace, grace, and enduring faith, whose journey began in the humble town of Asia and touched countless lives across Nigeria. Born in 1940 to Mr. Ezekiel and Mrs. Marian, or Timothy was the second among 8 children. His quiet and long-suffering nature was evident even in childhood, like the day a woman unknowingly placed the basin on his leg at the market in Oro, and he sat there enduring the pain silently until his mother intervened. He was a gentle soul.
When he was about 6 years old, a friend of my father came to visit him in the evening time. And Ayorinde was sitting beside my father, and the friend drew a chair, put it on one foot of Ayorinde, and he kept quiet. He didn't want to annoy the man. He didn't want to offend my father. So he kept quiet, suffering, in pain. He didn't say anything. And this old man sat on one of his legs. So when the man stood up, Ayorinde now said, so my father said, what's wrong with you? Then my father checked the foot and he was already bleeding. My father nearly slapped him. Said, why didn't you talk? Why didn't you say anything? That's one unique story about his quiet. It had been long that he had been very quiet, very reserved like that.
Met my late friend, Chief Timothy Ayorinde, in 1957.
Incidentally, both met at Offa Grammar School. Having gained entrance examination to Offa Grammar School in Kwara State, at least 1950s.
My relationship with Brother Ayo is multidimensional. He was a relation, he was a brother, he was a mentor.
I have been friends with Ayorinde since 1967.
What people used to say, the friend of my friend is my friend. But the relationship with Ayo now went far more than that. Now have very good affection for him, notwithstanding the fact that I knew him through Shibolagiwa around 1973.
I got to know him through the activities of the church, Christian Unity Band of Nigeria, UBN. He was an elder in the society.
I know him as far back as when he was operating a computer set program. Is it a cyber cafe, will I call it, or something? To telephone if we want to call overseas.
I was introduced to Chifore by my current boss, Mr. Larry. Chifore took me as his own son, just like the way he would take his own biological child.
You know, he calls me Molara. In fact, I'm the last born of his own mother.
When we met as students of the great St. Andrew's College, Oyo, where we had gone to train as teachers, we were both of the same age, too young to go to a teacher training college, probably a little bit too old to go and start secondary school.
He came to University of Ibadan to study BSc Physics, and I was studying Provisional Diploma in Statistics.
After excelling at St. Michael's School, Asia, Timothy enrolled in Offa Grammar School. However, financial hardship forced him to leave after 3 years. Undeterred, he apprenticed as a mechanic, a lesson in resilience and adaptability that shaped his life.
Chifore was an angel in a human form.
A man that is committed to any cause that he wants to embark upon.
Daddy, Chief Timothy Ayorinde, he was a teacher before he came back to Lagos, teaching physics and maths. All the students, they love him, especially in physics class, because the way he teach, he would be demonstrating with one thing or the other, so everybody Even when he bought the first car, by the third day, he brought it to Ayorinde because we relocated from Ibadan to Ayorinde. We saw Daddy under the car doing one thing or the other. The students were saying, this Daddy, now what for him? Oh? Maybe he has touched something he was not supposed to touch inside the car. Whereas Daddy knew what he was doing. Because he can't just stay in one place. It's very, very hard work. Nothing too difficult for him to do.
It was at Adeyemi College of Education that Timothy met the love of his life, Miss Olutola Ikotun. They married in 1969, and together they built not only a family but also businesses, becoming successful entrepreneurs.
I'm the very first one that could see this is my father, this is my mom. He was a very wonderful father to all of us. Kind, gentle, and very soft-spoken. Lovely husband to the wife, and the relationship between the two of them was just awesome. So it was a great miss when Momsi left.
Christmas was something no one in the Ore family would want to miss. It was a family tradition that my mom started. We would always have a party, we would have a reunion, the whole family comes together, and it was something that my dad continued. He would call me like a month to December and he would say, Lola, what are the plans for this year? What are you putting up for this year? I'll call the others and we'll be able to come up with a plan. Before the December date, he would call me and say, come and collect money, go and buy gifts for all the grandchildren. Initially I used to collect the money, but later again I thought it was ridiculous. So I'll just go to the market and shop for all the grandchildren, and then Grandpa took delight at sharing all those gifts for all his grandchildren. We'll come together, we'll take happy moment pictures and all of that. We'll dance, and it was always something that we all looked forward to.
As far back as 1965, I had to visit our sister, late Chief Rachel Olutola Ore, at Oluloyo College of Education, Ibadan that day. That's how my sister introduced him to me. That is going to be her husband. And since that time, he has been very kind, loving, and caring, to the extent that he's playing the role of a biological father, even when our father himself was still alive. When I was in Federal School of Science, no, I will not forget him. He would travel from Ibadan to Lagos and take care of all the things I needed. Not to me alone. He used to do that to all other brothers and sisters.
I call Chief Ayo Brother Ayo. That's my name for him. I'm a brother-in-law to Chief Ayo Ore, and the husband of his kid sister, Molake Agbeyo Niore. All of us who are in-laws of that family are one. Just to say, state, categorically.
Late Chief Ayorinde Ore was my husband's immediate junior brother. He's somebody that one will pray to have as a son, and as a husband, as father to the children. He is such a peculiar person that you will like his character.
And then accommodating. Even my husband's family, they really love Daddy. The same thing with everybody. We miss Daddy a lot.
3 letters that tells me what Chief Ore is, and that is honesty, integrity, and fairness.
Yes, it's very good. It takes very good care of us.
And a very good Christian. I got married into the Ore's family, and ever since then, Daddy Ketu, as we fondly call them, with Auntie Tola, the wife, they've taken us to be their own children. Many a times he comes here. The last one, he prayed and he encouraged. We thank God for his life and the legacies.
I miss everything. about him.
Chifore is someone who is ready to impart knowledge. He loves people around him. He's my counselor. My first impression of meeting him the first time, I discovered that he's an epitome of humility and accommodating. He's a father and he's a community man.
Timothy's journey into the world of computers began at IBM. After years of loyal service, he ventured into entrepreneurship, founding Computer Connections Limited, which later became KKL Limited, a pioneer IT company in Nigeria.
Daddy in his corporate life was involved in IT. Daddy was the first person to bring Dell Corporation, Dell Computers into Nigeria. I mean, if you don't know that, you know that now.
I remember when I was doing my project, while typing with typewriter, he took mine to his office and printed everything out with dot matrix. Then dot matrix was a big deal. My supervisor actually had to call me and said, "Where did you get a computer to print this out?" And I told him my father is an IT person. He was like, "Wow." And that actually rang a chord in me. Same thing with all my younger ones.
Growing up as a child, at some point I actually thought I was going to be a pilot because I had an uncle there, Captain Dele, who was a pilot. And then after a while, the pilot thing wore off and I thought I was going to be a medical doctor. But as fate would have it, I decided to toe the line of my dad as well. It was quite easy actually, because at the time I had access to computers way more than my peers, and that naturally got me into the world of computing. This was something I then decided to further on, studying computer systems and networks.
For the choice of my career, I studied microbiology in school, but my dad had always been a computer man, and I had always had that passion for computers. So I took that really after him. As a matter of fact, he had a company called Computer Connections Limited. It was based on that when I set out in my career that I have a company currently today that is, the name is closely related to Computer Connections, which is KCON Technologies. It is like a fallout from Daddy's company called Computer Connections.
We have a very unique surname, which is Ore. And one thing that I can never, ever forget about Daddy, you know, the Yoruba say, so if I go into any room at any time to sell the product, to sell the solution, and I introduce myself as Ayorinde, if anybody ever asks me, which Ore is that, I always just start smiling. Because what I know every time is that the deal becomes easier.
During my career days, I was telling him about our wish to transition into cybersecurity, which I'm working currently. And I made sure I stick to almost all of the advice he gave me that day. And here I am right now. I'm happy because they had impact in my life.
He was a mentor. He was someone I looked up to. He raised the bar for me on many occasions. And I thank God, because today I look back and I'm grateful to God for the bars that he raised.
To God's glory, today I'm doing very, very well. I'm a cybersecurity expert in the industry, and I could look back now and say if it wasn't because of the impact my dad had on my life, I would not be where I am today.
Daddy had lived a legacy in his personal life, lived a legacy in his corporate life, lived a legacy that people like me and hopefully my children and our children's children will be benefiting from as the years go by.
He was a great influence on the whole family.
And I'm surely going to miss him. I'm going to miss everything about him.
He meant so many things to me. You say he gone to where the others are now. So he's so rest in peace.
In 1980, after moving to Ketu, Timothy began worshipping at All Saints Anglican Church. A devout Christian, he served as the assistant organist for many decades and co-founded Divine Hour with Christ, a program that continues to inspire congregations today.
Dad was a very devout Christian, not just a church goer. but someone who lives by the word. And he transferred all that to we children.
From the time immemorial, I knew Chief Ore to be an honest and humble man. I think as far back as 1980s, he has a very large heart, clear mind with anybody. He doesn't know any grudge with anybody. I've never seen him. Maybe it's once in, if you are lucky, once in your lifetime, to meet somebody you can trust, you can rely on, and it's almost impossible to get another one. You miss one. I miss Chief Ore very, very, very well. A lot. I miss him a lot. You know, in all things you can think of. His character is something. He's something else. You know, he was nice to a fault, and he's very God-fearing. We have a lot of people who say that I will say in Yoruba. If you cry to Chief Ore, you come out with a great laughter. You know, I miss Chief Ore. I miss Chief Ore. I miss Chief Ore.
We know what he has already done, and I thank God he died like a good Christian.
No grievances for anybody. Oh, you did that, you did that. No, not Daddy. Daddy was a wonderful dad, wonderful helper, and he tolerated everything that happened.
He doesn't like to offend people or make you uncomfortable suddenly.
We are very close because Baba will advise you, will give you what it is required, and all his life is how to ensure progress for anybody that he has come across, and that he was able to achieve.
Said that in the society or in the church, the role he played in the choir of that church is not a joke. The choir will not forget his role for several years. Just like that, because we have a lot to learn from him.
Bàbá wa Ayorinde ó ṣe dáradára jù. Ọlọ́run á di ilé tí wọ́n fi sílẹ̀ á dùn ún. Bàbá Ayorinde ó jẹ́ ìkan ó jẹ́ pé he contributed immensely to the happiness and success of Chief Ayodele Deluse's success. To be successful in life, Ayorinde did very, very well.
Daddy Ore was the epitome of what a father should be. He was a father to not just his biological children, but to others as well. He was a mentor whose presence and words of wisdom gave life and meaning to everyone he mentored.
Our grandpa's house was basically the amusement park for my brothers, even my cousins.
I remember that at our annual Christmas party at his place, he would always get Christmas presents for me and all my cousins. It was always so thoughtful. He just always went out of his way to make sure that everyone was always happy whenever we were around him.
When we were growing up, Grandpa used to take out time to drop me, and sometimes he'd take out time to pick me up. He used to encourage me before some of my competitions. Then he would drop me off at the school.
My fondest memory of him is every December when we go to Lagos, we get to go to his house for Christmas and we get to see him and the rest of the family.
Anytime I was always going to school, accomplish the feat or finish the class, or give our grandpa a result, or just mention, he was always so excited. Like you could see a beam of pride and a smile on his face, and you saw that the excitement will always keep you going on. He was always present. Grandpa is a family man.
I feel like all these experiences with him has really shaped how I remember him, who I am right now, and I'll always be grateful for that.
I'll define him in the Yoruba word, Jagun Jagun, meaning the warrior.
I will forever miss him.
I pray and I know that you're resting in the bosom of the Lord. Rest in peace, Grandpa. I love you.
We're going to miss you, Dad. Say hi to Mom. Really going to miss you.
In the Yoruba culture, the passing of an elder is a time of both sorrow and celebration, a transition to the realm of ancestors. Today, we honor Chief Timothy Ayorinde Ore, a man who lived with integrity, loved deeply, and left a legacy that will never die.